I'll keep it. Don't keep it.
Hello, welcome to Game Over. I'm Max, and I'm here with
Dan?
And Matt.
Today we're going to be discussing the latest Game of Thrones episode, The Door. So, what do we think about it?
I think it's one of the best episodes of this season so far, because there's just stuff happening. Like, after, Sansa's at the wall, and she's like, we need these people to do this. Arya has got her first mission. There's plot progression, but it was good at moving forward, but I feel like it should have been an earlier episode.
It's definitely building on the progression of about last week. We thought that, with Bran, there was going to be another flashback to the Tower of Joy, and that didn't happen. Yeah.
I think they'll probably show us the rest of that if and when Bran does meet up again with Jon. So maybe he'll have like a vision brought on by his presence and be like, fuck, oh mate, you never guess what I just saw, that kind of thing.
Either that, or you know how him and Mira escaped the cave, and Mira sort of dragging him along, and Mira has quite vocally not been about these visions. And I think maybe Bran, with his Weirwood Tree connection, might be like, look at this, and then she's going to be like, oh, I get it now.
I mean, there's definitely an element to the Raven power that's it's become quite interesting, because again, like you were saying, it previously has just been a hook for flashbacks, which is good. It's something that the series hadn't done before, and it was a good way to introduce it. Now we've actually got. I mean, kind of skipping forward ahead, we've got the fact that it can alter time.
I literally don't want time travel.
It's a can of worms, isn't it?
I think we should just sort of talk about the Hodor thing, because we're skirting it. So we might as well just talk about it. Hodor, dead or alive?
Dead.
Why would he not be dead?
See,
we spoke about this last night.
I know, but this is the video. This is the video, because I took everyone on the internet's like, he's dead. Everyone who I know is like, oh, it's really sad 'cause he's dead, but I feel like I'm the only person who took it to mean he might still be alive, because the thing is, Game of Thrones is not shy of killing people in horrible ways, and I understand that we saved Stannis the indignity of a gruesome death and seeing his head rolling down the hill. But the way they shot that was like Brienne goes for the sword thing, and then it cut to Ramsay cutting someone down. So you go, all right, fair enough. Hodor, definitely still alive when we last saw him. I know that the situation presented is he should definitely die, but if they were going to do that, they would have shown us that, particularly when in the same scene, that Children of the Forest Leaf, she got stabbed so many times, and Summer got fucking eviscerated.
Yeah, there's no way that
there was squelchy stabbing noise and everything. Hodor was still alive when we saw him. That's what I'm going on. The Game of Thrones, when it kills people, it's pretty definitive, which is probably why the Hound might be coming back as well.
Yeah, I mean Clegane Bowl is probably going to be...
Get hype. I don't know. How would you feel if Hodor, came back as a White Walker or something, so then Bran, has to kill him, and then that's even worse?
Well, I'd accept that, because he is still dead at that point.
Also,
I don't know.
So we have this scene where the zombies are own down thing, and that's more scary and more interesting than anything The Walking Dead.
They really
sound very much like a horror film. Yeah.
And they're so
claustrophobic as well.
You know, the goblins in Moria in Fellowship, crawling up the walls. I think that's really nice, actually.
It was excellent.
Because like you just said, you mentioned The Walking Dead. You watch it, I think, how is anyone getting killed by these? They're just ambling.
Away.
They're dodling.
The White Walkers, we get to see them again, and now I'm always excited for the White Walkers. And it was 2 seasons ago that we first met the Night King when he did the thing. But
now we get the origin.
We got his name.
Yeah,
we got a name for him, because Bran went, it's the Night King.
An origin snippet.
Yeah. I don't know if I wanted that. Because here's the thing.
I liked that, actually.
It was cool, but at the same time not great. Because I like the ideas that the White Walkers are just sort of magic and mysterious. And when last season we saw them at Hardhome, we sort of accepted that's how they are. We don't need to know they used to be people. But furthermore, Leaf of the Forest says, we invented the White Walkers to stop you guys, to stop the man. So when the first man came to Westeros, the White Walkers were their super weapon. So there's a whole story in there. There's a whole bit of the Children of the Forest losing control of their super weapons. That's embarrassing, isn't it? Because the White Walkers are the big threat. And when Leaf is like, we got to go now, it's like, the White Walkers are coming. It's like, yeah, because you made them. This is your fault.
I just imagine
all the problems that are happening.
Like Steve Merchant be like, ooh, actually, bit of a funny story. That was us. But she does this kind of I Am Legend self-sacrifice bit, and it bought them about 5 seconds.
Literally it made no difference.
I mean, it was a nice little shot, but I thought maybe the tunnel was going to collapse or something like that. And
what do we take from that? Because he said that Bran wasn't ready to be him, but you got to do it now.
I took it that Bran has got the power of the Raven, because as soon as Bran mentions that he's not ready, his eyes immediately roll back, and for the rest of until he leaves, for the rest of the episode, he is walking into he's taking a trip down memory lane. He's becoming the Raven. So I took that to mean that he's basically downloading all of his thoughts, all of his powers, regardless of whether he's ready or not, whether he can control it. He is now in charge of it.
True, but he's also left this central weirwood tree. Bran's not connected to any weirwood tree now.
Maybe he'll just
and he
become
can't
like a really
he can't
powerful
do the
warg
thing.
then, or kind of
What he is connected to, he's got a bit of a Harry Potter connection with the Night King now, hasn't he? Because
Yeah,
that
with
mark's
the
on him. So that
Yeah.
is Bran going to become a White Walker?
It is going to be interesting seeing how they get away from that, because even with Hodor holding the door, they're not going to go far, like into
No.
the middle of the
They
They'll
went
break
to
through
icy
and go,
barren wasteland.
Oh, that was easy. There he is. Max, you earlier mentioned that Bran has the power of Bloodraven. I'm not sure he meant literally, like, you can do what I do now. Maybe he was more
The
like,
potential
oh,
to-
you've now gone through the same thing that I did, because he's seen that Bran has kind of exploited Hodor, which goes back to one of your old tinfoils. Do you wanna take us through that?
It's one shared by many on the internet, but it's the thought that Bran, he goes back in time to the days of the Mad King, tries to stop him, and that's the Mad King's madness, that he can hear Bran or he can hear the whispers, but
Oh, I
he
thought you
can't
meant it was Bloodraven who did that
Or-
to
or
the
Blood-
Mad King.
equally
Because he was a
Bloodraven.
Targaryen, wasn't
That's either way that they made the Mad King go mad, because maybe if they know the White Walkers are coming as a threat, and he's like, all right, you've got a load of wildfire or whatever it is under the city, burn them all, as in the White Walkers, and he's like, he just misinterprets it. It's like, okay,
Burn
we'll
them all.
burn everyone.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what that is, but
That would be.
And now we know that-
nuanced.
yeah.
That would be so good.
And now we know that the power of the Raven can affect anything in
Well-
the narrative. So now it's all kind of open to within the context of it being the Raven. It's got to be some sort of time travel. It's got to be a causal loop of some kind that kind of ends with that. But just because that causal loop has ended doesn't necessarily mean that more won't spring from that. That you won't get future kind of like intentional uses of the power.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is an accident. He didn't mean to break Willis, but it did happen.
Honestly, I don't think it matters that much. Because for me, the point of seeing Bran make Hodor go mad is part of Bran's character development. It's what makes him become really aware of himself and to really kind of respect the powers he's got, because he's seen how much damage he can do. And he's going to become, I think, more like a fairly haunted character now, because he knows that his most loyal servant's death is his fault. Whether or not he didn't want to send him in to die, but that's still what happened.
But I guess we've better talk about other stories, because other things did happen this episode.
Yeah.
I want to talk about Cool Uncle Euron.
Okay.
Right,
yeah.
and just how indecisive the Ironborn are. Right, the Kingsmen.
They're just like a bunch of
they
National
say-
Front guys, aren't they? Like,
yeah.
Come on, mate, let's have it.
It's- but that's exactly it. That's exactly it. Because I was watching it. I really like Euron. I know he's like a colossal dude.
Hashtag Iron Islands for the Ironborn.
Yeah. Make the Iron Islands great again. But basically, so Aaron goes, "Who claims the Sole Throne?" And Yara goes, "I do." And she makes this really great speech.
And everyone seems quite
No,
impassioned.
well, not even that. Not even that. One of the blokes goes, "She's a bloody woman." No, and then but they go, "Theon's
win
still."
around it,
They
yeah.
go, "Theon's still here," and he goes, "No, it should be Yara." And they go,
All right.
"It should be Yara." Yeah,
yeah.
Yara, Yara. And then Euron turns up late to the thing that he basically put into place. He's like, "I'll do it," and then he does his speech, and then they're like, "Yeah, him actually," and then they do the baptism by
you got to
water.
remember, he's a dickhead, but he's also right.
I mean, he's like the coolest guy this
He's
side of the
right about
Ironborn.
it.
He's right, but I'm just talking about the sort of how indecisive the Ironborn are. They just go, "Yeah, and that's them for like the whole
I
scene."
think that maybe the idea behind that is that they're both quite good choices. We've bemoaned a lot that Game of Thrones isn't that kind of artistic. I think this sequence was. I really enjoyed the
it was.
intercutting between the weird drowning baptism and Theon and Yara running away. At first, I thought they were coming to snuff him out. Because all you see, I guess that's the idea, that you see them running towards him with swords and stuff.
Yeah.
But if they haven't won the the King's Moot.
They're gonna
Theon's
be-
been away for ages. She's a woman, and we've clearly seen that they're not a big fan of that. How do they manage to get
was gonna say,
the whole navy to go?
And
with
also,
them?
where are they going?
You do wonder
I don't
why
know.
nobody was keeping an eye on them. If they're all sort of like,
Yeah.
they did just kind of wander off.
I want to talk a bit
But no, it
more
was-
about some of the particulars of it. First of all, he comes in and he's like, I want to be king because I've been around the world and I've seen there's a girl over there who hates Westeros more than you guys. She's got dragons. So all of a sudden,
Is it Christopher Walken?
Or Mads
no,
Mikkelsen.
I mean, you can do Mads Mikkelsen if you want. Well, interestingly, Mads Mikkelsen was in the conversation about playing Euron,
Was he?
which I think would have been great.
Yeah,
Can you
yeah,
imagine that?
But
Oh.
the thing is with Euron is that he just looks like a bit of a chubby bloke. He's not that scary. No, he's a good actor. He just doesn't look right.
But he mentions Daenerys, which is great. So the Ironborn eventually are going to go meet Daenerys. Which and this is a prediction I made. I said
You did.
back in episode 1, was it? When Euron first turned up? 1 or 2. When Euron first turned up, I said, well, they haven't cast the other Greyjoy brother, Victarion, who, in the books, which I haven't read, goes to meet Daenerys and whatever. I said, well, if they haven't cast Victarion, but they've cast Euron, are they
Then
just going
by
to
proxy.
condense the characters into
Yeah.
one thing? And actually, it makes a lot more sense, because Euron, in his worldliness, knows that these islands aren't all that the world has. Westeros doesn't respect us, so let's go join Daenerys. And that could be cool. But I like that Euron's like entered
Is
the
he,
game.
is he actually going to go himself?
Yeah,
It's not a very kingly thing to do.
Well,
He's
now
not
that-
very kingly.
I mean,
So Euron's going to go, and I think he's entered the game. He's not going to like win the Game of Thrones or anything, but I like that he's entered as a player because we've basically only got Daenerys and
the Starks.
and the Starks.
The
I
Lannisters.
mean, it does depend who gets there first now, because he's now missing a fleet, which
And then he goes, everybody, let's build some ships.
1,000 ships.
Get all these trees. Where are the trees? There are no trees on this island. I've seen none.
That'll take a while. I mean,
It takes so long.
Yeah. I mean, maybe not in Game of Thrones time, because sort of walking from place to place, which could take
It'll
months.
take about
takes
3 episodes.
Yeah. They'll be done. And they'll be
And he
like,
has
oh,
the Iron
here we are.
Fleet of 1,000. Like, we have, I don't know.
I mean,
It's like, now, we only had 5 trees, so you've got 2 ships. Okay?
So it's
You
just,
work with that?
we've got 1,000 ships made out of matchsticks, basically.
I want to see his ship, though. His ship.
the Silence.
Slash the Black Pearl of Westeros.
Yeah. And that's as
Shall we
insignificant as that.
should we move on to Daenerys et al?
Yeah, it was a great little scene with Daenerys. She was also looking fine as hell this week, and
Wearing her Dothraki type clothes again.
it's just a little scene. You know, Emilia Clarke finally does some acting.
And that's the point, isn't it? This episode had economy. Everything in there was relevant. It's like, okay, boom, progression, character development, emotion, next scene.
Yeah.
This bit, I really loved this bit with Jorah. And also how Dario just shut up and didn't say anything throughout all of it.
No, I thought it was great because
I
Jorah
revealed his dark mark.
yeah,
exactly like that.
and she's like Jorah the Andal.
Seven
I want
Kingdoms,
you
I
by
want
my
both
side. And
sides.
it was just great. You know, like imagine.
It was lovely.
it was. No, it really was.
We've never seen her vulnerable before.
Well, I mean,
No.
not recently.
Well,
Not
and it's the
since
first
she's
time
been the
all of
Dragon
this has
Queen.
come to not vulnerable in that sense. I guess he's been, kind of put upon, but not
Yeah.
I think she loves him too. Not as a lover.
As a kind of-
he's just
father figure almost.
yeah.
or-
But that was a really lovely scene.
It was great. While we're still over in Essos, Tyrion and that. All what we got from that is the Sons of Harpy ain't done shit. So-
That's the one scene. Sorry, I didn't like in this episode. The fact that we didn't see anything to do with that. It was Varys basically going to the audience. Sons of the Harpy are gone now. Just take that as gospel. I didn't like that. We could have seen like a 20-second montage of just the Unsullied fucking them up.
we meet the new Red Priestess, Kimbara.
Yeah,
She was
And one
very
bit of-
good. Yeah.
looking.
One bit of dialogue I thought was really interesting in that was the way that she seems to predict, and this is going to go into one of the internet theories, that Daenerys is the prince that was promised.
She says
Because-
that Daenerys is the one
Yeah.
that was promised.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We still
and
need to
there is
explain
some relevance to that, because there's the dragons being born from stone, and her being reborn in the Salt and Smoke.
She is
Now,
the most kind of like on the nose representation of that prophecy.
What opens up is that it could be. She could be half of the prince that was promised, because you've got Jon Snow with Longclaw, which is the other half of the prophecy.
Yeah.
And then you've got Daenerys. It could even be the sense that if they're not related, which I know is a big kind of potential theory, they could have a kid. The kid could be the prince that was promised. At the end of it, making the whole kind of like Song of Ice and Fire kind of thing.
He
Finally,
said that to me earlier. I was like, that's so good.
Yeah.
I never thought of that. That is actually
I
excellent.
quite like it.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's a real kind of.
And I don't think I've seen that on anywhere before.
No.
So
I
from
mean,
my
we've
brain-
been.
That's all yours.
And this is kind of an aside, but I'm not. What do you guys think of? So obviously, it's been a very long time since Varys and Littlefinger have had any kind of dialogue together. Now they obviously work on a close, but kind of on opposite sides of the coin. Do you think they have any kind of? Because obviously Varys has kind of situated himself really, really kind of quite well into Marine now, and Littlefinger, we assume, has his kind of part to play in the coming wars in Westeros. Do you know that? Do you think they're going to have any future dialogue? Do you think that they've got a sort of a broader game?
If Varys is back in Daenerys and Littlefinger's back in himself,
well, yeah.
and with the support of the Vale and supporting Sansa, we're basically going to see Belish's team versus Varys' team. That'd be sort of cool. Probably just a few more things to discuss, and then we'll wrap this up. That little bit with Arya, where she gets her first mission in a bottle, and she goes to see the play, and it's like the most meta thing, because once again Arya is watching her dad's execution, helpless to do anything about it. It was a good little scene, and it just shows like what, because I don't have like Facebook or the Daily Mail or anything like that. No newspaper.
That was like the public opinion of it, people who aren't in the loop. But the thing that I didn't like about that whole sequence was the fact that we see her watching this play, which is just disparaging of her dad and basically bringing back her old PTSD. Then she goes behind the scenes after she's been really pissed off, and then goes back to Jack and goes, "Do you know what? They're actually quite nice." That annoyed me. That I felt that she should have been like, I don't care. They were taking the piss out of my dad.
This is a test, right, though, isn't it? Like, because she's always like, a girl is no one, but Arya being disgusted by it means a girl is still Arya.
Someone.
Because there's no way that Jaqen and the Many-Faced God have been like, Arya, just go kill these people. What? They're making fun of your family.
How does he just believe her as well? Even the bloody waif can see. You're talking rubbish. No, a girl is no one.
Maybe Jack is actually like an incompetent boss, but he's just really mysterious. So it's like, yeah, we'll go with it. Much like how the Ironborn might just be going with Euron. He's like, let's go murder them, and they're like, yeah.
What if Jaqen is the Many-Faced God? Because he can only refer to himself in the third person because he's more than one.
That'd be sort of cool.
I don't know how they'd reveal that.
This is definitely a test of Arya, because it's like,
and there won't be a third.
Will she kill someone just because they've been paid, basically?
I don't think she'll do it. She'll go out, take the sword, and then be on her way.
A lot of people on the internet.
You kind of do want her to complete her training just so she can,
just
she
fucking
has
get on with
these
it.
skills and just kind of. There's been a lot of to and fro with her at the minute, and I'd like to see her become just some sort of badass hitman assassin.
I think she has to do it, because otherwise she
will be one of the faces on the wall.
Yeah,
because a face will be added to the hall either way.
Should we come full circle?
Yeah.
To just one more point about the Hodor thing.
Yeah.
I personally really liked. I mean, I can see where it's going with hold the door, hold on. I mean, I thought it was really cool, but by the same token, it is just a bit of a cheap pun.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure how I feel about it. As I was engrossed. I was like, yes, this is so good, and I thought.
Actually, well, this week's looking good. Halfway through the season, basically nearly done with the show so far. But good episode, right? Like,
yeah, I thought it was the best for quite a while.
I think it's one of the strongest of the season.
I think it's the best since Hardhome. I really, really enjoyed this one.
I believe that's it from us. That's it from them, and we'll be back. I actually won't be in the next video, but these two will be. So thanks for watching.
Yep.
And as always, like, share, and comment, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks a lot.
Cool.
Jobs are good.